what's up, everybody? I am Goofywise.
I'm Motivational Speaker. What's up, y'all?
Yeah, and this is the Wellness Wakanda.
Yeah, we're starting there. Yeah, let's go.
No. This is not the
Welcome
Wellness Wakanda.
No, that's what it is. That's exactly what. Are we keeping that name?
No, hell no. What the fuck?
Nah, I like it.
You want Wellness Wakanda?
Well, it's so good. It just is. It's everything that's wrong with everything.
This is not the Wellness Wakanda. We are thinking about coming up with a name, and we're hoping that you guys can help us out. Me and Fo wanted to come together because we felt like we had some common interests as far as like creating content around media and politics and spirituality, and like just looking at things with a deeper lens. So here's our log line. We're just gonna fucking read it to you.
Yeah,
and,
give them the.
Let me know what you think.
So happy you have a log line. I feel so like.
I'm
I'm so glad you did that. Like,
official.
It's official as fuck. Yeah.
Shout out to Rooster Teeth for putting me through that program, man. They helped me out a lot, bro.
I
was not ready. You got it?
Yeah. 2 unapologetically Black nerds explore anime, movie, politics, mental health, mindfulness, and their intersections, delving into the intricate landscape of the blurred identity through mindfulness, vulnerability, and media analysis.
Woo!
Wow, that was.
You like that?
Like honestly, I thank you for that.
Hey, shout out ChatGPT. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out ChatGPT. What the fuck can we do without ChatGPT?
I don't know, bro. But I guess what I wanted to say is that like first and foremost, like I'm really excited about this. You know what I'm saying? Because I think we both make the same. We're kind of in the same lane as far as content wise. Is like making very like deep kind of content that's speaks to like a level of media literacy that that people I think are craving right now. You know what I mean? I think we need to have these kind of conversations because they matter to us, and like we see there's so many lessons, there's so many like ways to relate and things to pull from media that I think I don't think there's anybody else that I would want to have this podcast with, if I'm being 100% honest.
Oh man, same dog. That's why I reached out. I'm glad because I literally have been wanting to do something like in this space for a long time, and you were the first name that kept coming to my mind. I just kept getting your shit, and I was like, this would just work. Yeah, I feel like this would make sense. So I'm glad you decided to do this with me. I'm really
yeah, because we both have a lot of common interests. anime, politics, spirituality. You know what I'm saying? All kind of shit like that, right?
Yeah. And
awesome.
And that's it's a great crossover, man. Let's do it.
Yeah, I'm excited.
What's first?
What's first on the list? All right, so just really quick, guys. Speaking of ChatGPT, and we have this amazing log line, right? We're coming up with a name, and hopefully you guys can help us out. So initially, the title of the podcast was Mindful Blerds, but we decided we wanted something more punchy and
just a little more something.
a little more something. You know what I'm saying? But ChatGPT definitely gave us a little more something. So let's read a couple names off, and I want you to tell us what the best name is for the podcast. So the first one is, like you said earlier, the Wellness Wakanda, bro.
Wellness Wakanda. Honestly, that's the most good. I don't even like. Oh wait, I just looked at one. Hold on, wait. I pulled back up the search history on the GPT. Afro saying Serenity.
Oh God!
Wow. Because I gave the prompt, I was like I would like within Black culture, and it was saying Black.
Wait a minute, is the acronym for that ass?
Yo, that's it. That's the one.
That's the one, bro.
Yo, that's the one, bro. Hold up.
Fuck. I'm so weak, bro. What the fuck? Ass is the one. Okay, all right. What? Imagine that'd be our theme song too. No, but what were the next ones on the list? It was Wellness Wakanda, which is crazy. Wakanda. Sounds like somebody fucking who works in Hollywood has never talked to Black people and thinks this is be a good idea. And then it was
this whole thing is literally like a ad for like Black people in tech. Like why clearly niggas was not involved in this shit at all. They was just like,
there was nobody from the culture involved in the creation of this. Yeah.
No.
Okay, so it was Full Metal Melanin. It was another one.
Full Metal Melanin. Fucking Honestly, shit. Hold up, wait.
That one, I ain't gonna lie. That one is funny, but I was like, hold up. That shit kind of hard, too.
Wait,
Hold
you know what I
on.
mean? Like, oh man, for real though. I'm with it. I'm a big fan of Full Metal. Have you seen Full Metal Alchemist?
It's my favorite anime of all time, bro.
Yeah,
I
man.
actually have a
Me
poster up
too.
here. Really?
Me too. Yes. What are you talking
Oh,
about?
great.
Man, I'm obsessed. It was like the first thing I ever. The second thing I like showed my wife, and I was just like, "Yo, this is the one, man."
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's not like all like bebop where it's like a little
Yeah.
too deep. People can't like really, but like, she really fucks with that anyway. Sorry.
Yeah. No, we're gonna have a lot to talk about. I'm so excited, like, because like the fact that you like that one, it's like there's so many like scientifical, spiritual like meanings, and like it's such a beautiful anime, especially as a young boy who was like questioning the meaning of life and like what role does science and faith play in my life.
Yeah. That shit gave me, it's like an existential crisis every time I watch
Bro,
that.
I swear to God, it's like every time I go back and rewatch it, I learn something new from it that I didn't know. As I age, I'm becoming more wiser, and I'm like, holy shit, this is actually fucking amazing. But so guys, not to get off topic, help us choose one of the names, bro. We'll come back to you with another one soon. But today, to break off the podcast, I wanted to introduce ourselves a little bit more and like just start to build this relationship, because this is going to be a safe space where we can be vulnerable, and I want you guys to know us and we want to know you. Okay, so like just a little bit about myself. I'm Goofywise, been streaming, content creating for like 5 years now. Always been a big fan of media and video games and stories, and I just really love stories, man. I just really love breaking them down, and I've been doing that on TikTok and Instagram, and even live streaming for a little bit, where I did a series called Mindful Monday, where we did like mindful shit and like yoga, meditation and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And we talked about like really important issues, and this really like helped me grow. You know what I'm saying? First time I'm hearing like emotional boundaries in my life. First time I'm hearing like the importance of friendship and like being vulnerable. You know what I'm saying? So like expect a lot of vulnerability from me moving forward, and just a lot of realness. None at all from this guy at all. He's got nothing. He's lying to you. He's literally in his fucking yoga room right now. He's in his fucking yoga meditation room, bro. Go ahead and ring that fucking meditation bowl you got in the corner, bro. Stop playing with me, bro.
Guys, I am terrible. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
No, good. Fantastic. I'm good. Actually, this is your turn now. Just let them know a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, man. I'm David, motivational speaker, making content for a few years now. And yeah, man, the things that I'm interested in is just kind of documenting and exploring the sort of realm of spirituality, talking about my own spiritual journey.
Yeah.
Where I am in that, and just kind of sharing things that I've kind of like been tripped up by along the way. Like, hey, like 90% of the shit I do, 99% of it is like, hey,
yeah.
You don't got to.
Yeah.
It was dumb as fuck. Like, just saying,
we all been there. We all been there, dog. You know what I'm saying? And yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, it's literally just me trying to, be like, hey, I did this. You don't got to. Like, you can do something else.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, no, that's just kind of what I have a passion for, and that, and the media side. For me, so much of my like journey spiritually has been involved in media. I think I had an instance where I literally like I just sat and watched so many movies and TV shows like in an incredible amount of time. And in a lot of ways, like story, like you said, is such a way for me to relate to life in general. And so the intersection of like media and spirituality is a very natural one for me. So I'm very excited to explore that here.
I agree. I'm definitely on like the spiritual side as well, but I think I could definitely learn a lot from you. A lot of the meaning I pull from like media is also spiritual, but also very political. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm a very we learn so many. I mean, everything is political. First of all, even spirituality is political. But it's like just looking at through that lens, I've learned so much, and it's taught me so much about myself. I always say, if you can change the narrative, you can change the world, and stories are the things we can help change the world. You know what I'm saying? And make a better world for ourselves if we can learn how to read it. So this is going to be like I'm definitely going to try to make sure that we can read the things that we're consuming, so that we can pull the best messages and lessons from them. On that note, Since we're talking about, I'm so glad you brought that up, Fo. Since we're talking about the importance of media and how it can awaken us, I want to know. I have a question for everybody in the audience, but as well as for my co-host. What was the first piece of media that radicalized you, or the most significant? You know, it could be the first and most, or most significant. Do you need some time to brew on that really quick?
Nah, I got it.
All right, let me hear it. Let me hear it. Go ahead.
Out the gate. For me, probably the thing that I just remember was such a pivotal moment. Like spiritually, now looking back, I can see it like on some Monday morning quarterback shit. But at the time, I just
I'm sorry,
remember
on some what shit?
Monday morning quarterback shit.
Okay, yeah.
Like I can look back in the past, like, oh yeah, but like at the time, all I remember was feeling completely transformed. Was like the Matrix. Like I saw the Matrix in theaters. Like, not to be too much of a fuckboy, I think it's kind of cliche now.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, the Matrix.
The Matrix. Oh, motherfucking Fight Club. The Matrix. You know what I'm saying?
Like,
yeah.
It feels very cliche. Knowing what I know now, kind of in the space of my journey, though, I can now see like the Matrix. There is kind of a story beneath the story, and so much of what the Matrix is that I can say now points to the fact that it's like a perfect sort of manifestation of the sort of internal story that we all have, this sort of universal perennial story of spiritual awakening out of our own sort of, anxieties and fears and all the shit in our head. And so looking back now and seeing how like, honestly, the thing that really was to just niche down even more, probably Carrie Ann Moss's Trinity. Like when Trinity rolled up the first time, there was like such a stillness to that shit.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I remember
like,
that.
She was
just side note really quick, Matrix is one of my favorite movies. And I'm so glad you said that, dog. I'm so glad you said that. So we are right there with it already. You feel me? But continue, please.
No, it's just like, I just remember like that there was such a stillness to her presence. There was such a presence to that. And, I was a really, really ADHD all over the place kid. So like to me, it was just, it stopped me in my tracks. And I just remember leaving the theater and having, because it wasn't like the idea that like you could never know. Like that was cool. Like that was, you
can never know. You can never know if you're living in a simulation.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Like as much as like that didn't keep me up, what kept me up was like something gnawing in the back of my fucking skull that I couldn't touch. It was like the thing that Morpheus says is like, what did he tell him? He's like, you don't know what it is. It's like it's just something that kind of eats at you. It's like, what is the Matrix? The question that drives you. And like them doing that kind of placed this kind of question in my head. Like, yo, but for real though, what is the Matrix? And now looking back, I could talk for days about the Matrix. But like now looking back, I can see like so much of what that was kind of driving was this awareness or curiosity about like the nature of reality itself.
Damn.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the Wachowskis were really about that shit. Like and look, it's not like every story follows this pattern. Like it's a very specific pattern. If you look at like a Joseph Campbell, like his hero's journey, or even you look at the Zodiac, so many things follow this pattern. But like to put it in a piece of media, it's almost like it becomes a bit of a metaphor unto itself. Like the whole thing about the Matrix is like you're hacking into a system that's like fucks you up, right? The system has got you imprisoned. And so much of what they're doing with the Matrix film is like they're like, hey, look at all these action. We got motorcycles, we got like fucking sex and leather and shit. You locked there, right? And they put that shit in the Hollywood like and you're like, this is great.
I can get with this. You know what I'm saying?
But meanwhile, they're hacking into your head in a way and literally touching something in your core that is such a sort of resonant story and eventuality of your journey that like it's inevitable that it's one of those films like we talked about Full Metal Alchemist. It's one of those things that you're going to keep going back to over the course of your sort of awakening spiritual life journey. And every time you look back, it's like, oh, there's another layer. There's another layer. And so for me, like I didn't know at the time, but I felt it like it was the Matrix. The Matrix is goated
Yeah, for
for
sure.
me.
10 out of 10 movie. It's my favorite movie ever. So like hearing you talk about it and your perspective and what it did for you, I think is amazing. You know what I mean? Like it's such a beautiful thing that media can touch you in that way. And it's like, how old were when you saw The Matrix?
I don't know, 13, maybe
13,
no,
young? Yeah,
14. Like it was something. Whenever it was, I saw it in theaters, so
yeah,
like
yeah,
I couldn't have been that young, but like it, I just,
yeah. Being
I
a,
just remember, fuck, bro.
yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
My dad had to take me. I remember that. I remember my
Yeah,
my dad had to take me. I was like, "Can we?" You know, when you ask your parent, you're like, you know, my
yeah,
dad, "Yo, can you take me to this radar movie?" Like, I
yeah.
was a good kid.
Having
So
a
yeah,
having a fucking existential crisis after, you're like, damn, bro.
so,
You know what I'm saying? Questioning the
for real.
nature of reality itself. Yeah. I think that's a really
Mhm.
good pull away. I think a lot of times people kind of like look at it and it's like, oh, is the Matrix real? Is it fake? But it's like there's something deeper there. You know what I mean? Like when you said that it was something in the back of your mind, like gnawing at you. You know what I mean? It's almost like this deeper awareness of life in the very existence of life itself. You know what I mean? It's like I don't know how to describe it. It's like it made me think of like the awareness of that, when we become present in the present moment, you know what I'm saying? And we're like
Yeah,
almost like experiencing life through our, our sensations, but also they're back there. There's another level of awareness watching it all happen and play out. You know what I mean? And like,
yeah.
so that's what made me think of. So like, I want to ask you, like, in that way, like, how did the Matrix like affect you moving forward? Like, did you look at life differently after this movie, was it later when you came back to it and you were like, holy shit? You know what I'm saying? Like, what did it materially change you, like, to do different actions or anything like that?
Yeah, I think, well, first,
Yeah,
it probably changed me just because like,
yeah,
I'm 100% that person who, like,
yeah.
exits, like, Batman and, like, "Alright, nigga, I'm Batman now." Like, I'm definitely fucking Batman now. Like, I
Yeah,
can do that
yeah.
shit. Like,
I
like,
can do that shit.
You leave a Bond movie, you're like, "Man, shit, if I had a gun right now."
Like, I beat Neo on that motherfucker.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like,
I think
so
we all
part
felt that shit. I remember watching X-Men. Like, I'm like moving my hand across the automatic doors, like trying to motherfucking open this motherfucking door. Like,
it's
open
probably
it.
gonna happen, like
Yeah. I'm like, this is me, nigga. I'm doing this. It's just automatic door. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, what you were saying?
hell yeah. Like, yeah, so, like, I'm already that person, and so like, there's a sort of, at least in my opinion, there's a bit of transmission, I think, that happens from a film,
Yeah,
and I think with the intention that it was clearly behind this film and
yeah,
care that was clearly behind this film,
yeah,
I think that comes off on everybody.
yeah,
Like, so it comes out of, like, it's in the sound, it's in the editing, it's
yeah,
in the, like, yeah, every aspect of the film is sort of mirroring this, and so for me, like, I did move a little differently. I did question things
yeah,
at a, like, a deeper level, and I think also the biggest thing, at least for me, I I just kept coming back to it. I
yeah,
just kept coming back to it. That was the biggest, like, you know what
yeah,
I'm saying? Like, 'cause I feel like something you keep anything that you come back to like
yeah,
that, there's gonna be a sort of drill down process of
yeah,
like,
yeah,
like, not like like, you know what I mean? It's
yeah,
there's something when you go deep into something, and so for me, I think that's what, like, when I kept coming back to it, I kept, like, being affected by it and kept questioning. And then one day, I had sort of a significant sort of, we have different levels of spiritual awakening.
yeah, for
So I had a
sure.
different, you know what I'm saying? So I had a different jump. And then I looked back at it and I was like, wait,
Yeah, yeah,
wait, you hitting different now. Hold up, wait.
yeah,
And it really just recontextualized the entirety of my life in a
yeah.
way that I just eternally grateful for.
Yeah, that's beautiful. What comes to mind, and tell me if this resonates for you, and if I'm on the marker here, but like what comes to mind when I think about the Matrix, it's almost like when I took, I hate that we're going here so early, but I'm just gonna say it. I'm vulnerable as hell. Almost like when I took shrooms for the first time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you begin to question the reason why you do anything. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
well, I mean, there's a brain thing that's going on, but also like the systems that you participate in on a daily basis. You know what I mean? The way you walk through a sidewalk instead of walking through the grass. You know what I'm saying? It's like, who told me that I had to walk in the grass, and why
Yeah.
am I so worried about efficiency right now? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's almost like you're questioning the very fabric of your reality, because the truth of the matter is all this shit is made up. Everybody,
Yeah.
somebody decided all this shit was going to exist, and this is how we're going to operate in this society, bro. So when I'm taking on shrooms for the first time, bro, I'm literally like questioning everything. I'm like, when's the last time I just frolicked through the grass, bro? And instead of going to the sidewalk, you know what I mean? And it's like and I'm like walking in my house, like why am I so worried about efficiency? Let me walk on the couch right now. Like when's the last time I walked on my couch? You know, and I know that sounds like high jibble jabble or whatever, but it's like I think so often we get in such routines that we don't question anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We just like our government tells us to do this. This is the way life is, and it's always been that way, and we must accept it. It's like, wait a minute, no, I don't have. I can question everything. You know what I'm saying? Everything has its purpose, and we can design a new life. You know what I mean? And this kind of gets me into my political aspect. It's like, well, the world we have right now is a result of people imagining things however long ago. If we want to create a new world, we can imagine new worlds for ourselves. You know what I'm saying? I think it's such an important thing for us to be able to experience movies like this that act as though like almost like a neurological agent to make us question reality. You know what I mean? So we're not so focused on the sex and leather and the guns and you know what I'm saying? Like that's all there too, but it's like also why is it there? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, you know what I'm saying? It's like it doesn't have to be. It could have been something else. You know what I'm saying? Does that resonate for you at all?
100%, bro. Like, I'm always taken aback at just how, like, overtly like killing and sex and that, like, how overtly it's just like that. And it's so interesting, like, as you see the, I just thought about this, but like, if you watch the trilogy, like, the further you get away, like there's less of that.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? You spend more time in like Zion in the real world, and there's less and less of that. But also, I think it is.
They had to hook us in early. You know, say, "Come here."
You know what I mean? Like, we got you.
Yeah,
like, you thought it was gonna. It's not gonna be that. But I do think that. Yeah, I think it is worth questioning, like why we feel the need to kind of rock like that.
Yeah.
And how that. Why is that in so much of the stuff that we do? But I 100% agree. Like that is.
Yeah.
It's such a interesting, like, subversive thing to do to like troll people.
Yeah.
Oh man,
yeah, like breadcrumb you. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I think it's beautiful though. I think it's beautiful, and damn, I feel like I gotta go watch it again soon. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. I was gonna say what you reminded me of when you said that. So much of like a perspective that I like watching The Matrix from is the sort of, like you said, the awareness of being present.
Yeah.
Like, and the journey that Neo kind of goes on from this, like, thinking he's the one. Like, I'm, and I think so much of what happens in our like journey is like we have this moment of like, oh, I'm like, you hit a point where you like, I'm crushing it. Like everything is great. You know, I'm doing all the things that I know I'm supposed to be doing, and then you have this moment, this sort of crash where you, like something bad happens again, like you're not lit anymore for whatever reason, you know, something like life happens, and so much of like our journey is just resisting that eventuality of just like, here's some new shit, but you're like, I'm the one now, this should be I should be. And
you want to be, we're almost like always chasing comfortability in a way. It's like, I'm in a new space. I just want it to be the same. And it's like, but life is always changing. You know what I mean? And there's always going to be problems no matter where you are. You know what I mean? So,
and that's and for me, what you said, like, that's literally the last like part of the Matrix part, like in part 3, like, when Agent Smith like says it's inevitable. This is inevitable. Like, when he like absorbs him at the end or whatever, he's like fighting him. He's like, yo, like, and Neo finally stops fighting. He's like, oh shit, it's inevitable. And like what you just described is that inevitability, right? The inevitability that like, it's not gonna feel good all the time. I'm not gonna always be happy. I'm not always gonna be comfortable. And like the fact that they put that shit in the movie it's just goated to me, man.
Yeah. It's not always a fairy tale ending. You know what I mean?
No.
Yeah. I think that's really good. And I think it's like, almost like putting you in a perpetual place of like where you kind of always have to be ready to change and adapt to your surroundings. And I think that's ultimately like where the fun in life is. You know what I'm saying? It's outside your comfort zone. It's where you are constantly being challenged. You know what I'm saying? And like obviously you need some level of comfort, so you're not worried about like meeting your needs of like survival and shit like that. So you can self-actualize and shit. But like I think that is what life is, and it's like it's so much the journey rather than the destination. You know what I mean? It's cliche that is to say.
That's
You know
such
what I'm
a,
saying?
I know, but like
Yeah.
that shit true. It's cliche for a reason, bro.
Yeah, that shit is a banger, bro. You know what I'm
You know what I
saying?
mean?
Yeah. Awesome. Oh, I
So
appreciate
what?
you saying that. Go ahead.
What radicalized you?
Shit, so many. I got two examples I want to share. The first one I want to share because we have a commonality in Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. So I want to talk about that a little bit. So I think the first piece of media that really woke me up, like literally woke me up, because I was always kind of like, I want to say this is more like awakening, like politically. You know what I'm saying? So like I was always kind of like left leaning. I grew up in pretty much in poverty, single mother, 4 kids. My mom was a narcissist, and that was a lot of very much of an abusive household. So there's that. But also, I turned to anime and video games early to watch and to find peace and escapism, like many of us out there have. But I remember watching Full Metal Brotherhood, and it really touched me. The specific story of the Ishval War, right? And for those who don't know, in the story of Full Metal Brotherhood, there's a war that's waged on the land of Ishval. Sounds very familiar. It's a desert country. It's a desert country filled with religious people who are brown. Go ahead.
I gotta watch that shit again.
Fuck. Yeah.
I didn't. Oh man.
Yeah. I'm going there. Yeah.
Right,
Yeah. So and it's like, this is me watching it again as an adult. I'm like, holy shit, I even see more resonance with this now, even though that happened in 2001, this is like very much sounding like the Middle East, right? So Ishval is a fashion, not Ishval, but Amestris is America. Yeah, so it has a fascist leader, right? And it basically has that.
He's literally named a Führer. Like,
he's literally named a Führer, but he cold, but yeah. So basically they go into Ishval to basically take land, right? And there's like a political coup that happens. The homunculi, who are the bad guys, shoot a kid in a uniform as a mistress to manufacture consent for them to invade. As the Ishvalans are not just going to take you killing an innocent kid back, so they're going to respond violently. You know what I mean? So this is very much manufacturing consent. You know what I'm saying? This is the things I pulled up as I've gotten older. But like, what really touched me is like the state alchemist, and there's a character named Hawkeye, and there's one scene where Edward Elric, the main character, is asking Hawkeye about the Ishvalan War, right? And basically just asking her like, what happened? And she's basically like, we had to go commit genocide. We were war criminals, and we had to go commit genocide there. You know what I'm saying? And what really like resonated with me was the accountability on her end, from the aspect of like her and Colonel Mustang were trying to create a new world, where a world where accountability and democracy reigned and the people's voices matter. But in this world, they knew that if they establish this world, right, this new and better world, that they would be held criminally liable for the war crimes they committed in Ishval. You know what I'm saying? Because again, the state alchemists were like the weapons of mass destruction. They were the big hitters going in. You know what I'm saying? Destroying shit. So like, Hawkeye and all the alchemists that were on the good side were basically knowing that they would be held accountable, and they still chose to bring about this new world. You feel me? They still chose to bring about this, even though they would be held liable. And for me, that really touched me in a way. It's like that really started to shape my my whole attitude towards the world, because I'm like, if they are so brave enough to be able to like create a world, even if it means they're gonna spend their whole life in prison, maybe destroyed, but they are so disgusted by the actions, they're so accountable, you know what I'm saying, that they're willing to create a better world, even if it means they're gonna go to jail. That shit is fire. You know what I'm saying? That's like some real nigga shit. Like I'm laying on my goals. You know what I'm saying? I'm laying on this shit. Even if that's how you know it's like real shit too. Cause like, I don't care who gets exposed. Me too, nigga. I'm going to jail, nigga, but I'm gonna create this better world. You know what I'm saying? And for me, like, that stayed with me. And it's like, this is the kind of attitude that I have. Like, I don't care what happened. Like, we have all had situations where we are maybe participating or perpetuating problematic thinking. I don't care if you get in trouble for that or whatever. I'm gonna fight for the truth. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm gonna fight for the truth. You know what I'm saying? Because this is what matters to me. You know what I'm saying? This is the hill that I die on. I don't care. Niggas can look up my old tweets. I'm like, I whatever I said, you know what I'm saying? But I was ignorant then. And I'm dedicated to building a better world where people like me or anybody that does wrong is held accountable, even if it's me. You feel me? So like that really resonated with me as a kid, man. I was just like, holy shit, that's some real badass shit, bro. Because I think there's like an underlying fear that all your politicians or people who get into politics are like scared that like they'll be outed or some shit. You know what I'm saying? For their shit. And it's like that just wipes away all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like I don't give a fuck about that. I'm here to create a better world, even if I'm liable. You know what I'm saying?
Jesus, I forgot that.
Yeah,
That's such a crazy takeaway. Like that
yeah,
is fuck yeah. Of course they would. Of course they are. Yeah,
yeah,
I think it really reminded me of how like unheroic Hawkeye
yeah,
and like how unheroic her and Colonel Mustang. They're not like
yeah.
it's not like a happy like nah y'all
No,
really man
yo, they was some demons, bro. They did some horrible
y'all
shit. She was out. They
yeah
was out there, and granted, they were soldiers, but it's like y'all participated in a genocide. You know what I'm saying?
mhm,
And they could have laid down and been like, this is the system that I'm in. They could have been like, woe is me. So what we see in so often in these Western films where they try to humanize, and everybody should be humanized, but like humanize the oppressor in a way that like, that it almost like removes accountability. Like, you can't be mad at him. No, but you can be. You know what I'm
yeah
saying? You can be mad at these they're doing some of the most horrible shit to people. Yes, they are following orders, but they still did it. You know what I'm saying? And they got to be
yeah
accountable to that shit. You know what I'm saying? And so that we can create a better world. You know what I'm saying? So like for me, I thought that was like a really great spin on that. You know what I mean? And it definitely like really woke me up, made me want to be more radical, made me want to get more involved and like push my like political thought forward. You know what I'm saying?
yeah I for me it was really
Yeah.
it was honestly I remember like watching that so many times but it did initially I mean obviously today it made me think of a particular thing happening in the
Yeah.
east but
Yeah.
but even then I remember like connecting that to like what we were doing in Afghanistan
Yeah.
in Iraq and it was really I thought it was really because I feel like it was like on like around the same time that shit was like really popping
Yeah.
at least the first one was and I remember seeing that in real time and being like wait and like little
Yeah.
kid me like I didn't have it I was just like yeah
Yeah.
this is fucked up this seems familiar like it seems familiar but like I don't know maybe it's just like nah like
Yeah.
this shit could have been a one-to-one for
Yeah.
like so many fucking things that were happening and I do remember
Literally.
you know what I
I
mean I
mean, the
do remember watching it
manufacturing
again
of consent is like very huge thing. You know what I'm saying? It's
bro,
like
bro.
very, 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 very like one to one kind of thing. Yeah, yeah.
I
So
think the older I got, the less it became fiction, the less fictional it was.
yeah,
Which you know
yeah,
what I'm saying? Because I feel like I did a video a minute ago where I was joking about The Boys. Like, I remember when I thought this was satire. Like, remember when we thought it was like a satire, but it was like, they're doing
yeah,
it, but like that's what I felt about this. Like, it felt
yeah,
like for a while, like, oh, they're just kind of telling loosely whatever. Like, this shit could have been a one-to-one in so many
yeah,
places around the world, like that America's involved in, which is crazy to me.
yeah, yeah. And so in that way, us being Americans, it kind of shows you like what is required of us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To create a new world. You know what I'm saying? It means abandoning our political leaders. It means understanding that a lot of these people are culpable in all this shit. You know what I'm saying? And allowing them to to fall at the heel of of justice. You know what I'm saying? Like I read a quote the other day, or not a quote, but a statistic is like most Americans are in the top 15% of the world, right? And or most America, if you went to college, you're in the top 15% of the world, and the rest of the world lives on less than $10 US a day. You know what I'm saying? And that kind of just puts in perspective, like, holy shit, we really have a huge burden to not burden, but like we have a huge responsibility to the rest of the world. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
like we owe it to them to be to hold our politicians accountable because the shit they do is affecting all of them, and they are living on less than $10 a day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's the least we can do. You know what I'm saying? It's like yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say
Sorry.
it's so easy to live in a bubble, and like I know some people are just like literally trying to struggle to make rent, but there are a lot of people in America that are very comfortable and don't want to get outside that bubble of comfortability and think outside that bubble of comfortability because like, I just want to worry about my life. Oh, there's so many things to worry about in the world. I can't care about everything, bro. There's literally only one problem. It's U.S. imperialism, colonization. You know what I'm saying? Like, can we stop
Yeah.
that? Can we stop that, please? You know what I'm saying? But yeah,
To that point,
yeah,
I think part of what I think this is a perfect pairing because I I get so informed by so many. I'm such a generalist
Yeah, yeah,
that I think having you have such a like a knowledge and a curiosity about the specificity
yeah,
of certain aspects of things. And so for me, s- when we talk about like, switching it up or like America, like
yeah,
what needs to get done, the thing
yeah,
needs to get done. I think for me, like simultaneously, not separate, simultaneously, I think the biggest thing that America like has to do to make what you just said happen
yeah.
is like take care of our sort of like mental, physical, spiritual,
One
emotional
thousand
health.
percent. 1000%.
You know what I mean?
One
Like
thousand percent.
if there's like a soapbox I could like jump on,
One
it would
thousand
always
percent.
be like seek ye first the kingdom of heaven in the sense that like I got to deal with this because it's like I think that the perpetual issue that we continue to have is
Yeah,
this idea that like we're trying to fix the problem from the same mindset that caused the fucking problem, and
yeah,
so we
yeah,
just keep creating more problems.
yeah,
And because we don't like universally, like I know that like I think it's like Gen Z's biggest like they're big into wellness. Gen Z is big into wellness is
yeah,
like
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
the thing, right? And I know that's cool, but like I just feel like if there was like a collective,
yeah,
like like the fucking PE
yeah.
system back in the day,
We
like, hey guys,
need that. We
you know
need
what I'm
that.
saying?
Yeah, yeah,
Like, we got to deal with this
yeah,
because and I think that the problem usually becomes in discussions like these, like either or, which I want to like call
yeah,
out. Like, I
yeah.
think I think it's super important that we do both of these things, but at the same time, um, I do think that, you know,
1 second. Hold that thought.
okay.
I just got a follow on Twitch and it just fucking came up. I hearing like teach me how to Dougie in my ear right now. But I'm good now. What were you saying? No, you're saying
I
some
think
really good shit though.
no. I was saying I think it's really important that we also it's hard to like go out and do anything in your community
Mm-hmm.
and exist around people if you're
Yeah.
too anxious to do it.
Ah, yes, yes.
Do you know
And
what I mean?
I know
Like if you don't
exactly what
have
you
the
mean. Yeah.
emotional intelligence to have like a conversation with somebody,
Yeah.
change is going to be like a one-way street. And I think that's why so many of us find ourselves now is an inability to kind of interact and have a discourse with people because our communities and our lives are so fractured and our minds are so
Yes.
fractured,
Yes.
right?
Oh my God, you're right up my alley, dude. I'm so glad we're having this conversation because I truly believe that that disarray, that chaos is manufactured in some part. You know what I mean? So much of we see on the media is negative, 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 negative. Americans
Mhm.
are taught this hyper individualistic, non community kind of like mindsets that we shouldn't rely on each other. Everybody's got to worry about their own thing. We all need one car. You know what I'm saying? We don't, public
Mhm.
transportation is anti freedom. You know what I'm saying? But also, taking care of yourself is so hard in a world that is so hyper individual because we do need each other. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And also, I want to say that like self care is an act of revolution in a world that hates your existence. You know what I'm saying? Especially
Yeah.
for our black and brown boys and girls, but all if you all levels of oppression, class, race, gender, we need to be pouring into ourselves so that we can create a better world. You know what I'm saying? And that's going to take doing the shit that we don't want to do, that we aren't taught to do. Like I had to learn the hard way. I'm still learning. Fuck. God damn. It was hard for me to get out of bed this morning. I say it. I scrolled. For hella hours. I had hella
I
emotions. You know what I'm saying? That
I started
yeah.
I read Tower of God on Webtoon, for like
That's
a
great.
hard like 30 minutes. So you just
Yeah.
scrolling.
Yeah. And that's like I didn't take care of my needs today. I didn't take care of my needs when I could have. You know what I'm saying? Because I was coping from, my inability to process my emotions, or I'm used to, having to deal with my emotions a certain way. TV, all kind of things trying to make myself feel better, except doing the thing that actually going to make me feel better, which is for me, and it's going to be different for everybody. It's meditation, journaling. You know what I'm saying? We call it root work. Do some journaling, do some
Yeah.
yoga. You know what I'm saying? Breath work. These things are going to be able to pour into you so that you can be there for your community. You know what I'm saying? And I think we need a class. We need a class talking about this kind of stuff. We need a class talking about the mindfulness of it, but also the emotional boundaries and emotional understanding, emotional immaturity, intelligence. We need all that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. My
Um,
homie he's teaching in Memphis, and he was telling me about his like how he's teaching these kids and they're like in and he's like doing this whole fucking mindfulness thing with these kids. It's like at a private school and
Yeah.
like teaching them how to deal with their emotions. And I was just like,
That's
yo, like
amazing.
this is I feel like if we had an initiative,
Yeah.
like if like Kamala gets in and she's like, day one,
Yeah.
meditation. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if there was an optional
Yeah.
meditation or mindfulness or whatever like thing in every school where people like kids got to do that, like things would change overnight. Like if
Yeah.
it was just a government thing, like, hey, here's some like
Yeah.
overnight would be a switch.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that shit is
I think
it's
we
so
have to learn.
powerful.
I think we have to learn how to take care of ourselves better, for sure. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it's really hard for a lot of people, because I don't want to say it's like a, one solution fits all, because like it's really hard to worry about mindfulness when you're trying to pay your bills. You know what I mean?
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like I got rent to do. I ain't got I don't. The last thing you want to do is be fucking mindful. You know what I'm saying? You like sometimes you might need to just fucking, rot a little bit. You know what I'm saying? It's hard. You know, the capitalism system creates scarcity. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if we're always in a place of scarcity, you know what I'm saying? It's going to be hard to feel abundant in your life. But I think that we can make a great change. And I think like mindfulness will become like how jogging of the past was seen like super weird and kind of like, oh, what the fuck are those hippies jogging for working out? It's going to be like mindfulness is going to kind of come in and take that place. And I think when we start doing shit like that, it's going to be a lot better for us, because I think there's just a lot of growth that us as, the common individual has to do in order to create the better world. But I think that we are already on the right step, bro. And like me and you we can usher, like this conversation in and of itself can help usher in a new age of, people who are looking at meditation. Like, maybe this is something I want to do. You know what I'm saying? We are
literally
we are the change we want to see in the world. You know what I'm saying? We're doing it right now. So like, I think that's beautiful, dog, for real.
You just reminded me of my aunt. She says this shit every time we like get in a discussion at her house.
Yeah.
She gets done. She goes, "Do we do it? Do we save the world?
We fucking did it, bro.
I did it. I don't know why we're here. We did. Like, what the fuck else is there to say about the shit?" I do want to make one point before we like switch real quick, just because you just reminded me of something. I think also part of the issue that we run into when it comes to, I don't think now the issue is so much awareness of those things as it is meaningfully and truthfully and honestly following through with those things. Because it's a lot.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a lot easier for me to tell a nigga I meditate than it is to actually meditate.
Bro, I can tell you, as a nigga who meditates right now, the last thing I want to do sometimes when I'm upset, even though I know it's gonna make me feel better, is go fucking meditate or journal or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
bro. I be caught. It's so much easier to like just be caught in this whatever the fuck it is. And so like I think so much of what creates a lot of resistance in people is this sort of second wave of resistance of essentially people like adopting these practices and tools and ideas like at a very sort of
early age.
What is the word? Not early, but like no. I just want to say like at a very sort of shallow point, right? I'm like, I go to therapy one time and like I made it. I did it. I'm talking to everybody in therapy speak. I'm diagnosing all my fucking friends. I feel like that wave of, which is inevitable. Everybody does this because that's what children do. They try to kind of like put on the thing. But I feel like so much of what happens is people do that, get discouraged and like, well, fuck this. Or people do that. And then the people who aren't doing that see that and they're like, well, fuck this. There's no point in doing that. And it's like, you mad at kids. Like for me, it looks like being sort of, we get frustrated at children for being children because that's what children do. They don't. So I think getting over that sort of hurdle, and I think for me, at least, one of the biggest kind of openings to that is just the sort of radical self-acceptance, like overall, like making that shit the baseline. Like one of my first teachers,
you said that, bro, and I was like, it hit me like a wave, bro. Like it's so hard to do that, but it's real shit. Continue, please.
You know what I mean? No, I'm saying that was like the first lessons I ever taught. Like a spiritual teacher, but kind of a spiritual teacher. And it was just acceptance. And so much of my life, I find myself coming back to the simplicity of that because all the other stuff, you know, it's gonna be there. It's gonna do whatever. But like, as long as that's the baseline, it gives you that sort of space to kind of transition and do the shit that you need to do the shit that you need to do. Yeah,
for sure. I think that's a beautifully said, man. And I think it's really hard to, as someone who was like a people pleaser, it's really hard. You know what I'm saying? It's really hard for me to radically accept myself. You know what I'm saying? Because I've grown up in a narcissistic household. You know, I had to change myself, you know, in very unhuman ways, like cut away at myself to make myself fit for my mom, at the time my mom, you know what I'm saying? But I learned to do that for everybody. Kids at school, I would mold myself in the image of other people, and it was like very easy for me to fall down this pipeline of like radical healing. You know, I gotta go just heal all the time, grow. I gotta keep growing. I gotta read all these books, self-help books, you know what I'm saying? I can do all that all day, but it's like at some point I gotta look at myself in the mirror and be like, I love you. You know what I mean? As you are right now. You're a masterpiece and a work in progress at the same fucking time. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's hard to do that sometimes because so much of our, you know, negative coping mechanisms come from our early age. And it's like, I mean, when I was young, what did I do when I fucking was stressed out? I'd fucking scroll, or now I would watch a movie or play games for hours and hours. You know what I'm saying?
So much TV.
Yeah.
I pretty much was raised on TV, like just mainly because of that shit.
Same. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get away from, you know, my mom yelling, whatever, you know what I'm saying? So I think it's important to recognize that like a lot of these habits maybe at one time saved us, you know what I'm saying? But they're no longer, they're no longer useful anymore in our life anymore. You know what I mean? So it's important for us to find new ways to do that. You know what I'm saying? But also, like you said, radically accepting yourself. You know what I'm saying? This is part of my acceptance journey. You know what I'm saying? It's like, all right, this is who I am. This is what helped make me, but it's not who I have to be anymore. You know what I'm saying? I can create a new person for me to be now. You know what I'm saying?
Even shrinking that shit too, man. Cause I think a lot of the time I get like really, what's the word? Like very attached to the sort of longevity of it. Like, oh, I was that like 6 years ago. Now I can do something else. It's like, nah, bro. Like 2 seconds ago, I was on a doom scroll, like with no pants on. And it was like, you know, whatever. Like, I was on some bullshit like 2 seconds ago. Right now, in this second, I don't gotta be that anymore. I can get my ass up and take a shower, wash my ass. Like I can do that.
That's great. I think for me, I get there sometimes, and what stops me from getting up is like I have this tendency to punish myself. Almost like want to punish myself for the fact that I didn't do it earlier, and and shame myself, which sucks because like at one point in time, this is how I was motivated to change, but no longer works for me. I'm fatigued on this. I'm a grown ass man. It doesn't work for me. All it does now is feed that same cycle now. So like I'll be doing a bad thing and I'll start shaming myself for doing a bad thing, and then I'll feel horrible, and then what I want to do is do the exact thing that I was doing. I was shaming myself for. You know what I'm saying? So like you're almost like feeding the cycle continuously, you know what I'm saying? Unless you, all right, man, radical self-acceptance, radical self-love as well. I love you, you know what I'm saying? I accept you for your mistakes, and this moment does not define you. You know what I'm saying? It's hard. Yeah, it's fucking hard. It's hard stuff, bro. Real shit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I love where this conversation went, man.
I'm terrified of like the people pleaser in me is like I'm checking like, man, like I don't know, man.
Stop that.
Like I don't know what this. See, but like I know, but it doesn't. Like it's a constant kind of thing.
Yeah,
just being aware of like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, shit. Accept that shit. You know what I'm saying? And I'm saying that you haven't. I don't want to speak for it. Accept it and just know that I value you here right now, man. Like real shit. I think you're fucking doing great, bro. And I'm so glad we're having this conversation. And I think it's amazing, bro. It can be really easy to, you know. I even me myself, I'm like, am I saying the right things? Am I, you know what I'm saying? At the same time, you know, so like, I appreciate you, man, for that level of vulnerability is also as well. Is you even saying that? You know what I'm saying?
That's right, y'all. I'm vulnerable as fuck.
Vulnerable as fuck in this motherfucker.
Tell my wife. She knows.
Welcome to the Vulnerable Nigga Podcast. That's the new title, y'all. Vulnerable Nigga Podcast.
Stop. Wait, I'm like trying to make it happen. I don't know, man. Vulnerable niggas. Wait.
No, white people couldn't say it though. They can't say it. But they would say it behind closed doors and not tell anybody.
They would definitely say that shit behind closed doors. Are you watching VN?
Yeah.
You can say it, bro.
You can say, got your ass, nigga. And I got you on 4K. I'm putting you on Twitter, nigga. You're fucked. No.
I was just being vulnerable, nigga.
Pun, yeah. But yeah, thank you guys, man. I hope you guys enjoyed this journey today. This kind of went in a very like we had a loose plan for this, and just being completely transparent. This is our first time kind of sitting down this long, and it's like it turned out really great, bro. And it's like I'm feeling really good about it, and I hope that you guys can resonate with the messages and stories. We're looking forward to taking on some more shows, talking about new things that are happening in the pop culture space, and talking about what that means to us and what that feels of. And I hope you guys can find a place to resonate here with us. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah.
Any last words, Fo?
If I didn't say, fuck, never mind. I was about to make a joke that was gonna be a night. It was not gonna be okay. Now I'm gonna shut the fuck up now. I'll tell you after. I'll tell you.
Okay, for sure.
It would have been terrible. Nah, man. Thanks for rocking with us, y'all. Appreciate it. Good to see you. We got more stuff to come. Please let us know. Let us know about titles.
Yeah.
Okay. We need your best idea. Make it snappy.
Yeah. Yeah, but we need punchy. Like black people love Paramore, you know what I mean? But for vulnerable niggas, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there it is. If not, we will be using Wellness Wakanda.
Yes.
So just know.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. I want to thank you so much again, Fo, and I will catch you guys on the next episode. Yes, sir.